I mean, yeah, in the RAF, it's not just about your day job, you get all these extra add-on bits. We were chatting to a PTI earlier who joined up and became a PTI so that he could jump with the Falcons, and obviously as a normal personal trainer wouldn't get to have that kind of experience, and it's the same in the other trades. You get
just nothing quite blue, very light beams. As it stands at the moment, it is the perfect get to that stage. We're hoping not. If there is an increased likelihood of that during the day, we will of course come back to you and let you know. So now, as promised, we will take you through the flying programme. Again, heavily caveated, this is what we're expecting as of this very moment. Everything is subject to change. We have already had a number of changes since the programme was printed. If you've been following us on social media, we have tried to keep you up to date as much as possible. We have had changes even as late as a couple of hours ago. So what we'll do is take you through the flying programme as it is, and then as the day... There's still mention of a few other aircraft that aren't on the bill today for various technical reasons. The Jet Provost is one, the Catalina is another. That aircraft is still, I think, without its propellers at Duxford. They hope to get that out of maintenance soon. And B-17 Flying Fortress Sally B, which has been checked. Landing formations at an airfield. By braking like that, they start to slow down and they start to get in position to land in order. So you often see formation teams do that run and brake.
To see the Hercules, and I know it's special for you as well, Kaz. Yeah, it's special in many ways. You've heard lots about the C-130 today already, but
for the enthusiasts out there, this is a one-off. This is going to be the last military parachute from an RAF C-130 Hercules by British military personnel. So it is one for the record books, and it is one to take as many pictures and images as you can today. And as I said, I will try not to get... As you can imagine, that is a very technical manoeuvre to do. They are holding as much as they can with the lead above, who will now fly a streamer, ready to fly a flag as they fly down towards the ground, creating a visual illusion of streamers. The idea being that the colour and the streamers create various patterns in the sky.
How can you look at it?
Once the team are down on the ground, they will reposition themselves and they will wait then for the premier flying parachute display today from the RAF Falcons. And they'll wait for their counterparts to come down, and they will line up to present themselves and to give us salute. Carrying the flag of the French Air Force. Please, once again, put your hands together for the absolutely fantastic and formidable team cadets by a Royal Air Force parachutist or military parachutist from an RAF C-130. And as significant is the crew today flown by 47 Squadron from RAF Bryce Norton. a squadron that has amazing history and one that has worked with the RAF Falcons for a long, long time. And ladies and gentlemen, here they go, the 2023 RAF Falcons Parachute Display Team. Sergeant Greg Ashelby, Corporal Joe Finch, Sergeant Owen Collins, and last but not least, OT Falcon Flight Lieutenant Mike Reed. Thank you for waiting this down on the ground. Safely Falcons line up. So those of you down the flight line near the front will get a great view of the Falcons. And again, a historic moment for us. We'll be doing the line-up today alongside our French counterparts, Team FedEx.
So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to your right-hand side, the very last chances we all have to experience the sight and sound of the C-130 Hercules.
After 56 years of magnificent service to the Royal Air Force. And here we go. The Chinook pulls up to begin the 2023 display with a pedal turn. The aircraft brakes left after the pedal turn to set up for the next manoeuvre, the offset wingover. This year's display is captained by Flight Lieutenant Jim Hobkirk. Jim is the Chinook Force's old father time, having joined the RAF in 1989 before most of the display team were even born. Jim has flown the Wessex, the Augusta 109, the Squirrel, the Griffin and the Chinook. He's undertaken operational tours across the globe and is the Chinook's only current A1 instructor, meaning he's forgotten more about flying than most of us will ever learn. He uses the wingover to reposition for the run-in back along the crowd line, and exactly the same way a frontline pilot will recce a landing site before their landing. He's running in now for the famous roller coaster, pitching the aircraft up to 50 degrees from the horizontal, before pushing over at the top, bunting the aircraft, and racing back down towards his hard deck of 100 feet. As he passes crowd centre, he'll enter the second half of the roller coaster, parking the Chinook's two 5,000 horsepower engines to offer up a big chunk of their performance, before throwing the aircraft over the top of the second bus. Joining Jim in the cockpit today is Flight Lieutenant Jamie Johnson, known as Jim. Jim and JJ now running in from the right for the solo nose-over. Jim, in the right-hand seat, is entirely reliant on JJ for his patter. Let's join him in the cockpit now. Ready? As they complete their nose over, they begin setting the aircraft up for the second of the pedal turns. The nose down quick stop is used to turn the aircraft on a sixpence. This is particularly useful when the troops are spotted late in approach, as it enables us to rapidly transition from ramming speed to bringing support to the troops on the
aircraft is supported by a huge number of engineers that keep that airframe airworthy and functional. All of them have returned to Cosford today, to the school where they learnt their trade, and it's their absolute privilege to be able to show the endeavours of their effort. It's worth noting that all of our display activity is conducted around normal duties and operational commitments. Both aircrew and engineers work tirelessly to deliver their normal operational output, and will return to work tomorrow to fly and fix helicopters and ensure the UK retains a credible air manoeuvre capability. The crew are positioning now for a run-in and break. This is a great chance for a photo of the aircraft's underbelly, but more importantly, enables Jim to bring the blade slap to RAF Cosford. There's an awful lot more to the Chinook force. Crew will have the engine for a running landing. They'll use the two blades and two rotors of the Chinook to bring the aircraft to a stop, which is used as an emergency procedure if we lose an engine. Let's join the crew to get our safety passengers out. To demonstrate just how much control Jim has over this aircraft, he will now bring it to a stop on two wheels before reversing back up the runway. The Chinook is the only helicopter capable of this impressive feat, and it's an attribute that has helped many a crew get out of a tight spot. Jim will now position the aircraft for an over-the-shoulder departure. As they lift to the hover, please give them a big wave and a cheer. They assure me that if you're loud enough, they can hear you over the thunderous sound of the Chinook blade flap. With a flash of the landing light and a wave from the crewman, the 2023 Chinook display is finished. It has been an honour to display the Boeing CH-47 Chinook for you here today and bring the blade slap to RAF Cosford. Please come and find us in the RAF village to meet our team, learn more about the wealth of exciting careers available in the RAF, and ask any questions you might have about the Chinook Force. Don't forget to follow us on social media and send us your best photos from today. The photos that the crew think are best will win some prizes at the end of the season. We hope you've enjoyed the show and look forward to meeting you later on. It has been our pleasure to display for you.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please put your hands together. The Royal Air Force Chinook display team is just nothing quite like it. There's a lovely little bit of synergy here between in the programming with the C-130 just before and then the Chinook, as both of these aircraft have something very important in common. Only 10 military aircraft worldwide have enjoyed over 60 years of continuous military service. The Chinook is one, first entering military service in 1962. The C-130 Hercules is another, entering service in 1956. And I'm pleased to say we will have a third from this list a little later on. Memorial to those who have served, honouring and promoting the courage and bravery of all those who came before us. However, we also proudly give our support and inspiration to future generations. Falcons TZ-865. Spitfire AD910 is a Mark 5B. As well as her involvement in D-Day, Amy also service with both the Army Air Corps and the Royal Navy. And the easiest way to differentiate between the two was the undercarriage, this being the Army version of the skids. Perfect for work on Salisbury Plain without sinking into the grass too much, whereas the Navy version had wheels and casters and type of thing you need, turning it around and around.
Yeah, that was the Red Hot deck really, or one of them certainly, of the Lynx in Royal Navy service operation from the Royal Navy's smaller ships. And indeed, the team behind during the Cold War, if things had turned truly hot. And Andy mentioned the fact that the camouflage being very effective against the tree line here at Cosford. That sort of low-level, so-called nap of the earth flying was what the Lynx really was all about.
Especially in Germany, I think at the Fort de Gap, anybody who served in the British Army at the Rhine for 15 years, 20 years, around that sort of mid-70s onwards.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Very effective too, it must be said. It's often forgotten, I think. During the first Gulf War in 1991, the Army and the Navy used Lynx significant effect. On one day, February 1991, an Army Lynx destroying 2 Iraqi armoured personnel carriers.
On an airfield, near or on an airfield. And we do have specialist equipment here at RAF Cosford that can detect precisely where a drone is launched from. So please do not use it, because what will happen instantly is we will have to stop the air display, and there'll be an awful lot of people disappointed by one person, shall we say, selfish act.
Type of extra 300 because they upgraded in 2017 to this 330 LX model. Getting airborne now, the Royal Jordanian Falcons, and they'll be getting into formation. Ready to run in and start their display shortly.
We mentioned we'll
Formation soon. The smoke goes on, and we present to you the 2023 Royal Jordanian Falcons. So they start off in box formation for an initial quarter cloverleaf manoeuvre, drawing in the sky the outline of a quarter of a cloverleaf, and we'll soon see the first of the formation changes. As from box they go into T for Tango formation for the line abreast loop. And out of that, the team will be transitioning into a left-hand barrel roll. Once again, as if tracing the outline of the inside of an imaginary barrel in the sky. As they head towards the right-hand end of the display line and roll out, they'll be using a wing over to bring themselves back onto the display line for a cloverleaf once again. But this time, graduated from the King Hussein Air College 3 years later, he's got an excess of 3,400 hours in his logbooks, flying the F5 and the Mirage F1 in the Royal Jordanian Air Force on the front line. So there is that cloverleaf. And as they head away from us, they're doing so on what we refer to as the B axis. The A axis is the one parallel to the main runway. The B axis is at right angles of the team, having joined in 2016. He is another graduate of the King Hussein Air College, flying the F5 in the fighter role, and then the Airbus C-295 twin-turbo prop transport. And now the 3 ship formation. He runs in line astern for the trail loop. As they now roll the right way up and head in towards the display datum for the Hashemite break. Of the number 6 Squadron, Royal Air Force. Spent a good deal of time stationed out in the Middle East. And so the team are honoured guests whenever they fly at an RAF base, but here they are coming in now Concorde formation for the final manoeuvre of their display, the Concorde break. That was the 2023 Royal Jordanian Falcons.
The American Navy are up against the 50th, 60th, 60th and 70th guests of this aircraft.
Display aircraft, especially in the hands of someone like Rich Goodwin. Everything he does style. He doesn't do anything straightforward, even that takeoff.
And realigning himself on the main A-axis as he comes past us with an initial 3-point roll.
And there he goes, pulling up to about 45 degrees with a roll followed by numerous positive G snap rolls, finishing off inverted, and now using the rudder to bring the aircraft round in a 180 degree inverted flat turn.
And now what he calls some shoulder rolls as he heads back in towards us. Building up some energy for a big 5/8 loop with 1.5 slow rolls on the downline.
I'm just slightly taller than it when it's on ground. Original kit's 65 horsepower engine, over 300 in this one.
So some negative tumbles now at the apex of that half loop, finishing upright this time on the 45 degree downline and heading back down towards the display datum. Back in on the main axis once again, building up speed, fully vertical. Running onto a 45 degree upward line.
And a series of snaps and tumbles, finishing inverted, getting up to his gate height of 1,000 feet before pulling through. And he's now scheduled to go into a barrel roll.
Shoulder snaps at the apex. There he is at the apex, and there he goes.
The aircraft in front, very much a RAF aircraft and certainly a UK design, as opposed to the more grey aircraft behind it, the Bird Dog, very much an aircraft from
a few words down the
This is a really, really nice pairing, because although it's not one of the themes that we're marking at this year's RAF Cosford Airshow, both of these types served during the Korean War. The Oster AOP 6
get ready for the next formation, a few insights into the life of the team. Whoever is on the team here must be anonymously chosen by the entire team.
Is live from the cockpit.
RAF C-130 on the 11th of December 2009, and it was in 2013 that it came into service with its first operator, France's Aerobatic. In then from the right, the Atlas C-1.
Compared with the C-130 Hercules, this aircraft considerably bigger. It's not quite C-17 size, but it's sort of midway between the C-130 Hercules and the C. Much of the development potential of the Spitfire, the basic design of the Spitfire was developed. This aircraft had to rely on speed and altitude to escape the enemy, and they were frequently brought to combat. They were frequently chased because these aircraft were sent out over Europe to photograph targets, both picture, current and paths. Mentioned earlier. I'm pleased to say we have two other Mark 19s actually on the ground, in the showground today.
Look into potential aircraft procurement from the defence manufacturers, the means of bolstering the UK's own production during the Second World War.
NA-73, it was produced in double quick time, and it was in the air by the end of 1940. This aircraft, as I say, used the American Allison B-1710 engine, a very good, dependable power plant.
outstanding Mustang airframe.
Red 1 pulling the team up at 4 to 5G and over 400 miles per hour as they collapse from the wall formation, which is approximately 200 feet from wingtip to wingtip, into 8 arrow formation. As the team now starts to accelerate back towards the ground, Red 1 will bring the formation round to the left. Red 1 is squad leader Tom Bold. Tom is in his third and final year as Red 1. He is a former team member from 2004. The smoke comes on for the 8 arrow present. Keep your cameras trained on the formation for a dynamic shape change as 7 and 8 perform a rollback to change the shape from 8 arrow into Vixen. As the team go around for the Vixen, roll. As the team rolls to the left on the right-hand side of Red 1 is Red 2, Flight Lieutenant Rich Walker. Rich is in his first year on the team, is a very experienced aviator. He has flown on operations on both the Harrier and the Typhoon. He has also been a qualified flying instructor. The call is made from Red 1 and the abort call is made from Red 7 as 7 and 8 roll around the smoke of the rest of the formation.
That is awesome.
You'll notice that the formation are flying with their air brakes out. That is a small door on the base of the aircraft towards the rear. This means that the throttle is now at the higher setting. Gas temperature, and it also disturbs the airflow out the back of the aircraft. This means that the smoke will burn a lot more brightly and will billow a lot more fuller, which enhances the manoeuvre, such as tornado. Heart, and perform the crowd favourite, the Synchro Heart. Today's Heart is dedicated to Philip Stanton, the father of Adam and Pamela, who recently passed away. And also I'd like to dedicate it to my found family who are here today. And spoon the heart from the top left is Red 8, Flight Lieutenant David Simmons. Speed. They will pass once again within 100 feet of each other. Each aircraft performing Aerobatic team, the Red Arrows!
Airborne very soon. It's just been cleared to take off by the tower. One of the most distinctive of the many ex-military helicopter types now active in the United Kingdom, and a very distinctive sound as well from the single Rolls-Royce Nimbus turboshaft engine of just around 1,050 shaft horsepower, which powers this little but very agile helicopter to a top speed of about 120 miles an hour. Two designs were produced at once by the Saunders Roe company. Now, we have an incredibly rare Saunders Roe aeroplane in the shape of the mixed power jet and rocket SR-53 development aircraft, which is among the RAF Museum exhibit, positioned just to the left of the control tower. Well, the design to start its display from the Navy wings, heritage flight, the Westland Wasp, HAS-1.
of operations because it was largely seen just as being a platform for carrying weapons. It would be sent and directed by its parent small ship, by other vessels, or by a Westland Wessex HAS-3 helicopter to attack an enemy submarine. It was able to operate up to 100 miles from its mother ship. They were able to carry a variety of submarines. Now, absolutely crucial is the undercarriage, this four-wheel castering arrangement, which is intended to allow the Wasp to maneuver even on a heavily pitching deck of a small ship. Now, there can be locked in position if required, though the Wasp always has to hover taxi. You never see a Wasp taxiing along the ground, despite this wheel undercarriage. It also has some quite challenging handling characteristics. It's a very small tail rotor, and that can make manoeuvring out of wind quite difficult because the rotor doesn't give that much control authority, even in moderate winds. Now, in Royal Navy service,
From the right, I give you the F-35B Lightning.
Flyby, was it? That's the tower. That's just a
and one we hope will stay with you for a long time after this display.
Displaying Operation Chastise is known as the Dambusters Raid, which took place 80 years ago this year.
In 1945.
Yeah, I'm usually on for about 5
Our ability to keep these beautiful aircraft flying today is down to the incredible work and unique skill set within our small engineering team.
As a Battle of Britain Memorial Flight, we offer 2 fantastic membership options through our partners.
Here is a yak.
So with that mighty sound slowly fading into the distance, what a delight it was to welcome the Lancaster here to Cosford to close the show, and what a wonderful way to close the show. That is the end of the flying programme we have for you here at Cosford 2023. The showground will remain open. As I did mention, if you could delay